Goon, but not forgotten. From 1952 to 1960, the Goons ruled the airways, the most celebrated and influential clowns in the history of radio. Usually written by Spike Milligan, or should that be written unusually, it starred Spike Milligan, Peter Sellers and Harry Seacombe, playing all voices, with announcements by Wallace Greenslade. Today's Goon Show was not written between 1952 and 1960 and has not previously been performed either. You, good listeners, will decide whether that's a good thing. Purist Goon listeners will also note that it's not the purest form of goonery, as other foreign voices have been allowed to creep in. We seek your forbearance and invite you to sit back and enjoy.
This is the BBC Home Service. I'm sorry, my mistake. This is Three-Way FM. Thank you. Every little helps. Ladies and gentlemen, I am exhausted to report that today's episode features the triumphant return of the highly esteemed all-leather Goon Show. Listeners who are listening may be wondering who exactly wrote this Goon Show, given that the notable Finchley darling, the Honorary Sir Spike Milligan, has been notably deceased for several years now.
I told you I was ill.
Oi, get on with it, mate. It's freezing in this here green room.
How do you think I feel?
Yes, well, the truth is today's show was painstakingly transcribed remotely, one letter at a time, during a séance with what we presume was Spike's ghost, but may indeed have just been a wobbly table leg.
I guess that makes me a ghostwriter, folks.
The show was later translated into ancient Greek, broadcast via Morse code, and finally carved into the side of an upriver luxury steamboat for safekeeping.
It's all rather confusing, really.
Here, what's that then?
She's my intern, Greenslade. No relation to the legendary Wallace.
And so at last, to share this chilling tale from his case files, it is my pleasure to introduce the incorrigible captain of the airways, Neddy Seagoon.
He ain't here. He's late.
Late? You mean he's dead?
That too. But don't worry, mate. The woods are full of them, you know.
My name is Inspector Eddie Seagoon of Scotland Yard, grandson of the infamous Welsh disaster Ned Seagoon, who died peacefully in his sleep at the age of 106 when a tree fell on him.
Such a waste.
Yes, I almost regret cutting it down. Now, where's my speaking trumpet? It's gone. Hello, folks! Hello, folks! Now, Greenslade, tell the eager masses what we have in store for them today.
From the confidential files taken from the East Finchley police dumpster comes the story of a crime no newspaper would ever bother to print.
The Warrnambool Storytelling Festival proudly presents...
The Ghost Writers of Finchley.
Scene 2, Part 1, Finchley, the mutton leg of London. On the face of it, there's hardly a more nondescript part of England than Finchley.
And yet, every now and then, there occurs some heinous crime that makes us sit up, some that makes us lie down, and others still that make us bark like a dog.
Oh!
To set the scene, it is a wintry evening on the grounds of Stephen's House and Gardens, where two members of the 1st Finchley Boy Scouts sit huddled around a campfire, roasting spark plugs. In the distance, a lonely clock strikes 14.
What time is it, Eccles?
Oh, just a minute. I got it written down here on this piece of paper. A nice man wrote the time down for me this morning.
Oh, then why do you carry it around with you?
Well, if anybody asks me the time, I can show it to them.
Wait a minute, my good man.
What is it, Bottle?
It is written on this piece of paper that it is 8 o'clock is written.
I know that, my good fellow. When I asked the fella to write it down, it was 8 o'clock.
Well then, supposing when somebody asks you the time, it isn't 8 o'clock.
Oh, then I don't show it to them.
Oh, well, how do you know when it's 8 o'clock?
Well, I got it written down on a piece of paper.
Oh, I wish I could afford a piece of paper with the time on it. Here, Eccles,
Yeah?
I'll hold that piece of paper to my ear. Here, this piece of paper ain't going.
What? I've been sold a forgery.
No wonder it stopped at 8 o'clock.
Oh, dear.
You should get one of them things my granddad's got. His firm gave it to him when he retired. It's one of them things, what it is, that wakes you up at 8 o'clock, boils the kettle, and pours a cup of tea.
Oh, yeah? What's it called?
My grandma.
Wait a minute. How does she know when it's 8 o'clock?
She's got it written down on a piece of paper. I say, Eccles, let us stay up late and roast marshmallows and tell ghost stories like brave Finchley boys, yes?
Oh, well, you know, Bottle, some say on nights like tonight, a mysterious figure can be seen dressed in rags, stumbling and wailing as he wanders through this very park.
Who is it?
It's me.
Little did these two cretins know that the events of this evening would soon haunt the ill-begotten suburb of Finchley, for in the shadows they saw.
Eccles, who is that man standing over there, sitting on that bench, staring at me?
Oh, I don't know. He's not moving.
Is it a ghost?
Listeners need not be concerned, for indeed this was no ghost, but merely a bronze statue of the famous writer and nut Spike Milligan, which had been placed in the gardens in 2014 by the Finchley Society, of which Spike was the first president. Thank you.
Eccles, that radio type man just said 2014. How old are we?
Oh, just a minute, I'll check my birth certificate. Hey, this piece of paper ain't working either.
What was that? Hello? Who is there? I said, do not frighten me.
Mate.
I don't like this game. I'm going home. That Boy Scout campfire badge ain't worth being haunted for. Rummages through knapsack. Takes out trusty Finchley Scout bucket of dirt to extinguish flames. Empties contents. Ah, I burnt my nose.
Oh, mate. Help. Oh, help. Oh, mate.
5 hours later...
Oh, help, please.
What's going on here then? Speak up or I'll be forced to say what?
Only 6 watts? You're not very bright, mate.
You shabby loon. Now, tell me what happened.
I was taking a kip over there in the Ida Ranges when I see these 2 spotted birks started a campfire. So I goes to yell, "Oi, you can't do that here, mate." Then suddenly, wallop, someone hit me right on the back of me nut with a flying object.
And not a moment too soon. Did anyone see your assailant?
Nah, I had me coat buttoned up.
Well, can you describe him?
Nah, mate, I didn't see him.
And would you recognise him if you didn't see him again?
Straight away. Although I must admit, me eyes ain't what they used to be. They used to be me ears.
I see. Anything else to report?
Yes, mate, the plague.
Oh, well, we don't need to get into your personal affairs.
No, the plague, mate, it's blue.
Well, have you tried rubbing it?
This here.
So saying, the tea-strained wretch handed me a large blue metal disc. No, thank you. I'm trying to give them up.
If I could just interject, I think there has been a typing error. What you are holding is in fact a circular blue plaque, commonly found in London to mark famous buildings and landmarks. Thank you.
That rotten codger conked me on the bonce with it. You better catch him before I do, mate, or I'll show him what for.
What for?
That's not all, mate. When I come to, that Spike Milligan statue had vanished.
Vanished?
Some say the statue gets up in the middle of the night and walks about.
To haunt? To haunt the world of the living?
Nah, to use the bathroom.
Nonsense. The attackers must have stolen it and then left the bloodied plaque behind as some kind of morbid calling card. What does the plaque say?
Wanted erotic photographs for the discerning gentlemen.
No, on the other side. It says, St Mary at Finchley, Church of England. But underneath someone's written, I told you I was ill. That phrase, it couldn't be, could it? Taxi!
Where to, mate?
How did you do that? Never mind. Quickly, to St Mary's.
But Seagoon was too late. By the time they got there, the entirety of St Mary at Finchley Church had vanished into thin air, just like the statue. The rector, the choir, the congregation and one rather startled ginger tomcat had all been inside St Mary's at the time and were also missing.
And scrawled in crayon on a nearby postman was the same cryptic phrase, I told you I was ill. In the following days, 3 more famous Finchley landmarks were pilfered, their plaques left tauntingly behind.
The case bore a striking resemblance to a series of thefts my grandfather had failed to solve decades earlier. The memory of those crimes had haunted him until the day he forgot about them. And now it seemed the villain had returned. After all these years, the Finchley ghost had struck again.
All things dull and ugly, all creatures short and squat, all things rude and nasty, the Lord God made the lot. Each nasty little hornet, each beastly little squid, who made the spiny urchin, who made the sharks he did. So all things dull and ugly, all creatures short and squat, all things rude and nasty, the Lord God made the lot.
That was the vanished choir of St Mary's at Finchley. Part 2. Allow me now, dear listeners, through the power of radio, to transport you back exactly 50 years to 1973 and the first recorded incident of the Finchley ghost. A greenhouse on Elm Park Road has been converted into a recording studio, cunningly disguised as Westminster Abbey. Inside, a troupe of actors are recording.
Okay. Ready, Mr. Cleese? This is Monty Python, the funniest joke in the world sketch. Take 37 and rolling.
This man is Ernest Scribbler, manufacturer of jokes. In a few moments, he will think of the funniest joke in the world, and as a result, he will die laughing. It was obvious the joke was lethal. No one could read it and live. Scribbler's mother, alarmed by the unusual sounds of merriment, entered the room and found what was apparently a suicide note. And with the British military on the lookout for the ultimate weapon in the war against Germany, here in this little house in Finchley, this joke may be the answer. Tests on Salisbury Plain confirmed the joke's devastating effectiveness at a range of up to 50 yards.
OK, cut. Stop recording. Sorry, John, I still don't quite get it. When do we actually hear the joke?
Look, we've been over this. The audience doesn't hear the joke. If you hear the joke, it kills you. Right?
Right, but then how do we know it's funny?
You just have to trust it's funny. So it's so funny that if you hear it, you die. So they translate it into German and use it to win the war.
But we're making a comedy record. I think it's kind of a waste to have the funniest joke in the world and then not even record it.
That's not how the sketch works.
Could you maybe tell me the joke in secret?
No! Look, there is no joke, okay? I haven't actually written a joke that's so funny it kills people.
All right, well, let's move on for now. Let's record the cheese shop sketch. So, it's Red Leicester, Stilton, Brie, and we'll just keep going until the part where your character thinks of a cheese that they actually do have in stock. Okay, and rolling.
No, there is no cheese. The cheese shop doesn't have any cheese. That's the joke.
Not really much of a cheese shop then, is it?
That's the point. That's the bloody point.
And at this point, listeners are advised to imagine a large blue metal disc spinning through the air at speed as it hurtles towards the aforementioned glass greenhouse recording studio until...
There were no survivors. On closer inspection, the offending park had been pried from the side of Finchley Memorial Hospital, which seemingly imploded later that morning and was flung at the Python's base of operations, presumably as some form of critique, and carved into the underside of a nearby glue factory the words,
"I told you I was ill."
In the years to come, the ghost struck 28 times. Fountains, statues, heritage-listed pensioners. Nothing was safe. Anything famous or old enough to have a blue plaque was a target. Under pressure, Parliament assembled to pass new laws.
Order! Order in the house! Order! Remove that chicken! Excellent. That's lunch sorted.
Yes, yes, gentlemen. You may well debate this matter. The question is that under the circumstances.
I wonder what.
I haven't finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The question is, under the circumstances, should these blue plaques be categorized as a lethal weapon? I say anybody caught carrying a plaque or indeed hiding a statue, church or other public facility on their person should be taken into custody.
Is the honourable member suggesting people should be searched for hidden landmarks?
The member for Finchley, the Right Honourable Margaret Thatcher, has the floor. Thank you, thank you. Please hold your boos until the end of session.
These blue plaques have been a London institution since 1866. How else are we supposed to know which buildings are actually worth looking at? Although I do wish there wasn't one on my wall, as it does encourage tourists to congregate on the front lawn, and Dennis has to clean up after them. Mr. Speaker, I stand before you today in my red star chiffon evening gown, my face softly made up, and my fair hair gently waved, the Iron Lady of the Western world, a Cold War warrior, an Amazon Philistine.
Mr. Speaker, I'm wearing Ming trousers, a whalebone corset, and mismatching socks.
The member for Sprongley-on-Cleet will sit down.
Now, if this Iron Lady image is how they wish to interpret my defence of values and freedoms fundamental to our way of life,
What about the Python's greenhouse?
Mr. Speaker, the seat of Finchley is considered safe, and I commit to keeping it safe by doing all I can to root out crime on its streets, using the full force of the law.
Will the honourable member commit to paying to rebuild my bloody greenhouse?
I'm sorry, I didn't see where that question came from, so I'm going to ignore it.
I'm right here, you cloth-eared bint.
Look, I am, of course, a big fan of Montgomery Python's levitating menagerie.
When will the Finchley landmarks be returned to their rightful place?
These are valuable historical items, and all Finchleyians can rest assured that I will do everything I can to ensure their return. Law and order will be maintained in Finchley, and in that order. When I was selected as Conservative candidate, my main rival was the Honourable Thomas Langton, the one-legged brigadier and holder of the Military Cross. I won the final vote, 46 to 43. I was elected to Parliament more by luck than anything.
Yes, but Chairman Bertie Blatch later admitted he thought Langton had a silver spoon in his mouth. So Blatch lost some votes and gave them to you.
Look, I attend your dreadful markets, your spring fairs and chook raffles whenever I can stomach it. Isn't that enough for you, Finchley? Listen to me, all of you.
All of me is listening to you.
The recent reports of vandalism, theft and the plague in Finchley have been widely exaggerated. Honestly, I think this whole thing is quite absurd, How in heaven's name could a man be stealing entire buildings and in broad daylight, no less? Even the idea of someone flinging blue plaques at people's head is... Ow!
Unfortunately, she recovered. But now, even in Parliament, the ghost had struck.
A month later, however, the violent attacks violently ceased. Finchley had run out of landmarks.
The case remained unsolved for 50 years until the incident at Stephen's house.
And since the disappearance of the Spike Milligan statue, the attacks had continued at the rate of 1 per week. The weeks occurred at the rate of 5 per month, but the ghost always managed to escape. Public opinion demanded an inquiry into police handling of the case. Before long, we were all summoned to Scotland Yard to testify.
All rise for the Honourable Judge Hercules Gritpipe Thin presiding.
Right. Let's get this police inquiry over with so we can get back to not doing our jobs. Bring in the constable. Next witness.
Hello there. Thank you, friends of Eccles Society Limited. And now for an encore. I talk to the trees, that's why they put me away.
Silence, you chittering lump. So you're a constable now, Eccles. That means there's a village somewhere that's missing its idiot. Where do you see your career going?
I see it careering off the road into a ditch.
You silly, twisted boy. Now, raise your right leg. Do you swear?
No, but I know all the words.
Oh, very well. Take a seat.
Hang on a minute. This seat doesn't have a bottom.
Well, sit down and it will. Now, what happened on the night of September the 33rd?
I was patrolling down the street when suddenly I stopped.
Why?
Oh, my feet were tired.
Right. Next witness. State your name.
William McGonagall, the well-known bank overdraft and trainee massage parlour.
Might I surmise by the shape of your tongue that you've come a long way to give evidence today?
Aye, all the way frae Aberdeen. The trip cost me every penny I had.
Well, thank you for your commitment to this case. Now, exactly where were you at the time of the most recent attack?
I was in Aberdeen.
Right. Next witness.
I object.
What are you objecting to?
Oh, I don't know.
I object to the objection.
Objection sustained. Right, that's quite enough. I find no reason to continue with this inquiry as information obtained is quite silly. We will have to wait until further attacks have taken place before making a judgment. Now, get out, the lot of you. I would have private conference with this egregious haggis. McGonagall, allow me to introduce to you my esteemed associate, Count Jim Spoons Moriarty, noted French crawler of no fixed abode and aspiring stringwig salesman. Put it away, waving your ow about like that.
Sapristi Nurglers, what a tremendous sporran you have.
Aye, thank you. I just had it repointed this morning.
Now, McGonagall, I'm promoting you to superintendent and putting you in charge of the Finchley ghost case. Any questions you have should be written down in triplicate and thrown into the sea. Now, I must go delouse my jeep. Come, Moriarty.
But isn't Major Dennis Brodnock usually the superintendent? I'm afraid he's been posted overseas. I'd like to see the British Post manage that.
Right then, are we finished with that nonsense? Inspector Seagoon?
Here, sir.
Och, man, you gave me a start.
Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, go.
Seagoon, why are you riding a camel?
I'm undercover from the Foreign Legion, sir.
You didn't sound very foreign.
Speak for yourself.
Now, This ghost business has made a fool of the police.
I disagree. We were fools long before he came along. Eccles.
Here.
Case in point.
Oh, I object.
Shut up, Eccles.
Shut up, Pickles!
Shut up, the pair of you. Now, do you have any leads in the case? Well, speak up then.
You just told us to shut up, sir.
You're a police officer. I didn't expect you to listen. Well,
Nothing, sir.
do you have any clues at all, Constable?
Oh, no, I'm clueless.
Well, get some, will you? It's unhygienic standing there with no clues on. We need to be one step ahead of this ghost. Find a plaque that hasn't been stolen yet. Wait for him to steal it. Then we'll know his next target, and we can catch him red-handed, red-faced, and red-kneed.
Needle, that'll do.
Didn't do that. Now, there are only 3 plaques left in the Greater London area.
Right, Constable. Make a note of this.
Fine.
The Margaret Thatcher plaque on Flood Street.
Margaret T-H-E...
The Peter Sellers plaque on Muswell Hill Road.
P-E-T-E... Oh, Peter Sellers, the old playboy of Old Finchley tube station.
And the Spike Milligan plaque on Holden Road.
M-I-L-I-G-G-G. How many G's in plaque?
I want officers guarding each location. Did you get all of that, Constable?
Oh, just a minute. I'll get a pen and paper and write it down. Ow!
And there's more where that came from. Now, get going.
Meanwhile, back at the North Finchley residence of amateur pile of bones Mr. Henry Crun and his well-oiled paramour Miss Minnie Bannister, it is 3 a.m. and dark deeds are afoot and a wrist and a spleen.
Henry! Are you awake, Henry?
What is it, Min? I am now. You've woken me.
Oh, do you hear that, Henry?
Yes, unless I'm mistaken, that's the mating call of a Bosch electric screwdriver. Buzz, buzz. It has a beautiful plumage, you know.
Well, at least our hearing hasn't failed us.
What?
Good night, Henry. Oh, Henry, was that the door?
I just told you it's a Bosch electric.
No, the knocking, Henry. The knocking.
Are you certain it isn't your knees, Min? Surely it's too late for gentlemen callers. What time is it?
I got it written down on this piece of paper.
Shut up, Eccles!
Shut up, Pickles!
Oh, heavens! We'll all be murdered in our beds.
Calm down, Modern Min, or you'll drop a stitch.
Oh, what are we going to do about the door?
It's perfectly fine where it is, isn't it? I mean, it keeps the outside where it should be.
But the knocking, Henry. Shouldn't we answer it?
I don't know what it asked, Min. But here you go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know. I'm on the wrong side. And knock, knock. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Quick, open it, Min. Just make sure the broom is handy. You can't get the wood, you know.
I'm glad we only live in a cottage. Yes, we don't want any vacuum cleaners, thank you.
You are Minnie Bannister, the well-known spinster living in sin.
Ooh, is that what it's called?
And this is 127 Holden Road.
Yes, that's right. Well, thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, wait. I understand that Spike Milligan used to live here.
Yes, he left his jokes all over the bathroom floor.
I'm Inspector Seagoon, Mounted Police of Scotland Yard.
Is that your camel?
Yes, but I prefer cigars.
Oh, well then, you'd better come inside. Make sure the camel wipes its feet. I'll put the kettle on.
It'll never fit you.
Come in and walk this way.
I don't believe I can walk that way.
Minnie? Who is this? I've told you about bringing strange men into the house.
This strange man is Inspector Seagull from Scuttling Yob, Henry.
Oh, well, come in. What a lovely hump you've got, Inspector. But who's that noddy riding on your back?
That's me.
Well, sit down. Feel free to take a load off.
Don't mind if I do.
Can we help you?
No, I can take it off on my own.
Gad, how flexible.
Now, I'm here about the plague.
Plague! Yes, I remember it well. 1348. That was a good year.
We're still having the boosters, you know.
Careful, you're showing your age.
Am I? Sorry, let me adjust my trousers. Quickly, Min, draw the curtains.
Right, I'll get my pencils.
Now, would I be right in thinking the Finchley Society attached a blue plaque to your outside wall?
Yes, it said Spike Milligan slept here with...
Hush, Minnie, that's our little secret.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's gone.
Curse the devils, they've unscrewed it.
And so is the wall.
Oh, I thought it was drafty in here.
Minnie, call the police.
I'm already here.
That was quick. Are you sure the wall hasn't simply been misplaced?
I've looked everywhere.
Oh, not in the cellar, I hope. I haven't washed my knickers yet.
I don't wish to know that, but I fear this means your house may be the next target to vanish.
Oh, swoon!
She's fainted. Oh, quick, fetch the smelling salts and my cranial drill.
Right. Don't worry, I'll have an officer on guard outside 24/7.
Good, but could you move your camel off the bed? It's crushing my pelvis.
The next evening, outside 127 Holden Road, the ever-vigilant constable keeps watch from a downright position.
Skimble shakes the railway cut, the railway train.
Here, Eccles, what are you doing under that jeep?
It ran me over.
Caw, I wish I could afford to be run over by a jeep. I have to make do with the bus.
Have an accident, Constable?
No, thanks, I've already had one.
Whose jeep is this?
It's mine.
Yours? What do you mean it's yours, you corduroy simpleton?
The man who ran me over said I could keep it, so long as I put my fingerprints all over the plaque.
What plaque?
Ow! My scone!
That plaque.
It's the ghost. After him. Where did he go?
He went that way.
Quick, we'll take a shortcut through the gate.
It's locked from the other side.
We'll have to go over the wall.
It's too high.
Quickly, Eccles. Stand on my shoulders and pull me up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'd like to see them do this on television. Up. Oh, I'm over here now.
Good. Now hurry up, open the gate and let us through.
How do I do that?
Just turn the knob on your side.
I haven't got a knob on my side.
Blue Bottle, you cut through Stephen's house and garden. I'll rally the troops and we'll surprise them from behind.
Yes, my captain, I shall not fail you.
Taxi!
Where to, mate?
What's the quickest way to get to Finchley Police Station?
with me sense of direction by walking, mate.
Isn't there a quicker way?
You try running.
Right, you do that. I'll take a detour via this musical interlude.
I love to go a-wandering along the mountain track, and as I go I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Valerie, my knapsack on my back. I wave my hat to all I meet, and they wave back to me. And blackbirds call so loud and sweet from every greenwood tree.
Everybody!
From every greenwood tree.
Part 4, 2 days later, or Part 2, 4 days later. It doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, in a deserted Finchley street, which pretty much describes all of them, 2 dishevelled Charlies are plotting. One has a burlap sack over his shoulder.
That's right, folks. It was us all along. Ha ha ha!
Moriarty, come away from that audience. You don't know where it's been. Now listen here, you clotted cream puff. Do you have the stolen landmarks?
Yes, they're all in this sack. Oh, I do not think I can lift another ounce.
Then we'll weigh it in kilos.
Carrying all this will be the death of me.
We can only hope. But do stop fidgeting. Swap your shoulders if you must. Good heavens. How are you doing that?
I'm triple jointed.
You wicked Frenchman. You've had your elbows replaced again, haven't you?
Yes, now they're my knees. But what do we do with all this? Melt it down for scrap?
No, you pate-smeared oaf. The plaques we've been leaving at the scene of the crimes are replicas that I forged from the bonnet of this old leather omnibus. I've hidden the real plaques in a hole at Stephen's house and garden. Don't you see, with all the famous landmarks gone, all that's left is the plaques. They're worth a fortune. I'll be stinking rich.
And me?
You'll just stink.
But that means the landmarks
can never see the light of day again. To the bottom of the Thames with them.
Little did they know that the police had cordoned off the entire district of Finchley in search of the owners of a slightly dented, louse-ridden jeep.
What? Did you hear that narration, Moriarty? They're closing in. I told you to get rid of that jeep, you steaming nit you. Stop the car!
They're not in a car.
Well, stop it anyway. You can never be too sure.
Stop!
Where to, mate?
Oh, just drive round and around till I tell you otherwise.
Righto, I'll take you to a roundabout. Then, mate, just you, is it?
Me and my shaved gorilla.
God blimey, here. I know that smell anywhere. Which one of you's been stomping around in the hydrangeas at Stephen's house and garden?
Never you mind, you cockly wobbler.
We'll have to split up. I'll get this Charlie to drop Moriarty off somewhere. Police will catch him, and then I'll escape with the plaques.
Ha! He thinks he's going to get away without me. I'll get this Charlie to tell me where he dropped Grip Pipe off.
These two must think I'm stupid. My name's not Charlie.
What's that ahead?
It's a police checkpoint. They've closed off the road. We're trapped.
Quick, Moriarty, put on this gramophone record of Escape to the Royal Wood on Ice by Jack Bruce.
It's no good. It doesn't fit me.
Blast. Right. Out the window, quick.
Stop! Step out of the car, please, driver.
I got 2 suspicions Charlie's in the buck, mate. This gorilla's made of a hell of a mess.
Right. No sudden moves. Put your hands up and exit the cab in that order. There's no one there. Search Finchley. They won't get away.
Meanwhile, Moriarty and Gripped Pipe Thin, hiding behind a scene transition, scamper towards Finchley train station.
We'll catch the tube to East Finchley. That'll get us ahead of them. Now, where's the station gone? We didn't steal it, did we?
It's just inside this wicker cabinet, gentlemen. Thank you.
All aboard. Where to, mate?
Wait, weren't you the cab driver?
I'm moonlighting, mate.
Well, just stay downwind of me then. Bit short of coal, are you?
Yeah, you ain't got any, have you?
No, I gave it up. Does terrible things to the gallbladder, you know. There might be a politician on board who'd have some. But can't you get this thing moving any faster?
All right, mate, try this. Ying tong, idle po, at full speed, lads.
Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po. Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, idle po, idle po.
Now arriving at East Finchley Station.
Now, be ready to get off as soon as we stop.
Stop! In a hurry, are you?
Blast! Seagoon, how did you get here so fast?
I packed extra coconut shells. Plenty of horsepower, you see. Now, put your hands above your knees. You're not going anywhere. The next train isn't for another half an hour.
Curse you, Seagoon! You'll never take me alive!
He was right. Now hand over those plaques.
Ah, but I don't have them, Inspector. You can't prove a thing. Search me if you must. Oh, you devil. Put that slide whistle away.
Damn. No plaques. No evidence.
Enter Liebelt. Strikes heroic pose as performed by Fred Snagg in his off-Broadway musical rendition of The Lone Ranger, complete with cellophane mask and tweed cape. Waits for audience applause. Not a sausage.
What do you want, little cardboard cutout urchin? Speak up, lad.
I saw Mr. Hernkilly's Grimp-type springe the other night at Stephen's house, digging up a hole where he hid the stolen plaques.
A witness! But it was pitch black that night. How did you find them?
I fell in the hole.
And why didn't you come forward sooner?
I was trapped in there. I had to fashion a rope ladder out of my shoelaces to escape.
And then what happened?
My shoes fell off.
Well then, the game's up, type. I'm arresting you for, insert various crimes here. You have the right to remain silent, but anything you do say will be ignored.
Not so fast, Inspector. Don't come any closer. This banana is loaded.
Fiend. Why go back to your criminal ways? You must have changed after all this time.
Only my trousers.
Look here, I'm warning you, don't do it. I'm allergic to bullet wounds.
I'll save you, my captain. Ah, you dirty rotten swine, you. You've dirtied me. Thanks. Obituary to read as follows. A happy-go-lucky first Finchley scout suffers a death worse than fate. Blue Bottle gunned down in his prime. His poor life cut short by a dreaded overripe banana. Clutches chest, stumbles backwards into geranium bush and rips trouser leg. Bag of jelly babies goes flying. Oh, cruel world! Oh.
Good heavens! He's murdered Blue Bottle!
Badly?
No, very well. He's dead. Well, we'll add killing of an idiot to the list of crimes. Wait, where did he go?
Little does Seagoon know that while that soiled, crumpet-shaped lad delivered his final monologue, I slipped into the crowd and escaped. Now, taxi!
Where to, mate? Where to, mate? Here, what's going on here? Oh, gotcha, take that!
Where is he?
And so, with the case solved, the people of Finchley can now rest easy. But how exactly, one might ask? Could you fit the entirety of St Mary Church, as well as several other landmarks, into a single burlap sack?
Well, it's all in the mind, you know. That was the Goon Show of sorts. It was performed before a mainly live audience and taped for later airing on 3-Way FM. Actors were John McInnes, Rob Umney, Rosemary Knight, Carol Price, Philip Shaw, Margaret Beaton, Rob MacDonald, Brett Holbrook, Philip Liebelt and Don Cowling.
Script was from fragments left by Spike Milligan and enhanced by an anonymous editor and Philip Liebelt, who also produced for the Warrnambool Storytelling Festival. Announcers were John McInnes and Wallace Greenslade. Music was by the Tin Shed Singers, conducted by Philip Shaw. Sound effects were also provided by the Sheddies.
Mr. Swine!
This is the important part of the evening where we show due respect to Warrnambool.
Oh, bullion, so let us rejoice. We love our silver ball. In May we watch the